Okay, I'm gonna hand this over to Tiffany to record for me. Okay. So, thanks again for coming. I apologize for sounding like a stuffed up weirdo, but I have a cold. So, hopefully you can understand me. And thank you again so much, guys, for coming on your own time, your lunch breaks, to come and listen to me talk about the exciting world of stem cells. Yay. Okay, so we're all in the medical field, so we've all heard a little bit about stem cell research. But the United States is really lagging behind in the stem cell research field, simply because we have so much controversy centered around embryonic stem cell research. And I don't know if you guys keep up on this, but there was Nobel Prize awarded this last year for researchers who found a way to pull adult stem cells and to make them into basically embryonic stem cells that can be made into other cells of the body, which in theory should eliminate the controversy around stem cell research. So my speech is about, I want to let everyone know about the United States being delayed by religious and political groups who have vilified stem cell research because it does destroy an embryo when they extract those stem cells. And there's that controversy on when life begins. Does it begin in the embryo stage? Does it begin at conception? When does a person become a person? Which is something that people feel very strongly about and are very either morally against or morally for. So I want you guys to feel the urgency to move past these hurdles and to get people talking about stem cell research and all the things that it could really accomplish in the medical field, because this is something that's it has the promise of being a cure for all these terrible diseases like cancer, heart disease, diabetes, obesity. It can cure all these things, even musculoskeletal diseases, or you can basically grow new nerves. So if you have nerve damage, things like that, has the promise to cure all these things that have just plagued, the medical field, especially cancer, AIDS, all this type of stuff, that if we could just move past this controversy, we could get so much done and affect so many people's lives and improve the quality of life. There's been that topic of does the medical system, is it just prolonging our lives? Are people living longer and being more sick? Whereas, 100 years ago we would have died from most of these things that we have now. But, with the invention of antibiotics and all these new drugs coming out, people are living longer, but that quality of life isn't necessarily better than before. So there's that controversy on top of the embryonic stem cells where, I feel like embryonic stem cell research, or stem cell research in general, could really put an end to a lot of that, because, we would be able to generate new tissues and new cells to be able to live longer and healthier at the same time and not be in as much pain. Pretty much everyone has seen a loved one or family member that's been affected by a disease that's painful and hurtful and really decreases their quality of life. Everybody can bring to mind someone in their mind that they've seen them suffer. Imagine being able to move past that and not have anyone suffer anymore. It's incredible. It's an incredible thought. And it's something that has been so controversialized, and researchers have been putting in time trying to figure out a way to work around stem cell research instead of trying to, so they don't have to use the embryos. But a lot of people don't know that most embryos used in stem cell research are donated from in vitro fertilization clinics. And most of the time they are donated because they are not viable for a pregnancy. There's something going on with them, so they donate them to research. Most of the time when people are having in vitro, they only put selected very few, very special, perfect eggs and embryos in the uterus in order to give you your best chance for a pregnancy, a viable pregnancy. These other ones that we are using for research are not really viable for a pregnancy. Then that brings into call, that selective pregnancy, basically. I mean, it's another issue because people could say, oh, I don't want to have a baby who has Downs, or I don't want to have a baby who has this. Then that's discrimination against people with disabilities, because then you're saying that this life isn't as important as another life. So there are a lot of really good moral standings and questions that have been raised. But what I'm here to talk about is the adult stem cell research. So, and I have this visual aid of a very grumpy person, and he needs a new organ or tissue. So what they do is they remove stem cells from adult tissue, such as blood or bone marrow. Bone marrow transplants have been used for a really long time for leukemia, and that involves stem cell therapy. So concentrated and cultured, they give a mass of adult stem cells, and then they can grow those into any type of differential organ or basically whatever spare part you need. And then it gets implanted into the patient, and then there's the matter of, if it's rejected or, if your body will retain it, just like any other transplant. So it's something that is really promising and really, really important for people to talk about with their families and to discuss with people and to say, hey, I heard this thing that, stem cell research, they have this new thing, so that, we don't have to worry about the controversy with the embryos anymore. We can move past that. Whatever your stance is on that, it's to the point where it shouldn't matter. We should be moving forward with this adult stem cell research and getting on the ball and getting caught up, because what's happening is that people are now participating in medical tourism. So they're going to foreign countries to have unresearched, unproven treatments with stem cell research in other countries which are allowing it. But they are getting, a lot of times people are being ripped off. They're not getting the treatment that they need, or they're given a false treatment that doesn't help them. That's something that's really dangerous. You hear about people all the time, oh, I'm going to go to Mexico and get some dental work or whatever. It's like that, but it's with stem cells. It's the very core of who we are that people are experimenting with in other countries, and that's very dangerous. So this is something that I think is really important for everyone to look into and to just get a conversation going about, is kind of what I hope will happen from my speech. So, everybody has been so great about coming and listening to my speech, and I appreciate it so much. Thank you. And I really hope that you'll take what I've said to heart and really think about it and talk to your family, talk to your friends. Say, this is something that, could cure, whatever ails you, or, and it's not one of those things from like the 20s where they had the morphine or cocaine. Wasn't it cocaine that they were big on for a while? Cure everything, is cocaine. Well, this is, taking a part of yourself to heal yourself, basically. And we don't have to use embryos anymore. So, thanks again, guys.